indicate to me if, okay, got it. So now we are live streaming, so we'll start. So welcome Roselyn to the Seichi's platform. Very, very happy to have you here today. So before we start the session, I will be introducing you to our audience.
Okay.
Yeah. Roselyn is a co-founder and managing director of Africa Center for Capacity Building. She has spoken in over 40 conferences and trainings. She's associated as a board member with several community-led organizations, and she holds an MBA from the University of Nairobi. Her client list includes many government organizations with whom she has worked during her tenure. So Roselyn, very, very impressive bio, and I've seen the full detailed one. This is actually a very, very concise version of that. Very, very happy to have you here on our platform. So I'm very curious to know, what challenges does a career woman in Kenya face? I mean, just to understand, whether it's similar to what we face over here, and what is.
Okay, first of all, thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy and honored and humbled to be here in your channel. And I hope all that I'm going to share with you today is going to be an eye-opener to many, okay? And at least will help you understand more about a career woman in Kenya, I being one of them. So as you have said, my name is Roselyn. I'm born and raised in Kenya. You've already given a background of what I do. I'm a managing director and a co-founder at Africa Center for Capacity Building. Basically, we do consultancy work. We organize conferences. We do trainings, team buildings, and all that kind of work. So now, having introduced myself, I'll go straight to your question and answer that. And I'll speak from experience of the kind of challenges that we have faced as women, career women in Kenya. And I think some of them are general, they cut across so many countries, one of them being sexual harassment, of course, by men, and intimidation, because men think that they are more superior in terms of business, they think that they are the ones to say, they think that they're the ones to have the money, So it's very difficult as a career woman to climb up the ladder, to possess your position, especially if there are men on the way. They'll kind of intimidate you. They will kind of make you feel that you're not supposed to be in that position. We have so many women right now in top positions, and I'll get to that maybe later on. We have so many women, but if you ask all of them up to where they have gotten, the challenges they have faced, one of them being harassment from sexual harassment from men, intimidation from men, then the other thing is balancing the family work. You are a woman, you're supposed to be the homemaker, So the minute you get into the business world, your time is consumed when you're trying to make money. So you really have to balance your husband, your kids, your sisters, your parents. I mean, they need your time. So that is another challenge that we face. And that one, we have the culture. I don't know whether you know about the culture in Kenya. We have some very different communities. We have some communities that have a strong culture in Kenya. One of them being Maasai's. They believe that a woman belongs in the kitchen. You're not supposed to go out there and make money. You're supposed to wait for your husband to bring you money and cook and basically look after the kids. So the minute you try to raise your head, you say that now I'm a woman, I need to go and make my own money, then you get the culture stamps you down automatically, and you cannot do anything. So, and then the last one, maybe I would say there's so many, but in the interest of time, I would say a few. The last one being the financial muscle. Some women have the ideas, they have the concept, but they lack the financial muscle to do, the kind of businesses that some men do. For example, if you approach a bank, the bank is more likely to give a man a big loan than a woman, because they believe probably the woman doesn't have the ideas, the ideology to make, that money work for them and pay it back to the bank. I don't know. It's just a belief that the banks have. So that's another challenge that they have.
Right. So what has been your own personal experience in this area as you built your organization?
I have really tried. One of them being the intimidation from men. We have so many consultancy companies. When you go bidding in companies, because we have to go and give proposals for us to be given work. So when you go bidding, you get the board, most of them are men seated on the board, and you have to do a presentation. So when you come to do a presentation and there are men there, they will ask you, what makes you think you're going to perform, you're going to deliver? Men do better work than you. So I have had to fight hard battles, but I believe in God. I go out there and I make a statement. I leave a statement and I tell them, you think a woman cannot do this? I give them the work that I have done. I go with my proposal. I've been doing this since for about 15 years now. And not even once have I ever failed. I always deliver. So when they start talking to me about that, I just open my profile. I just open my work. I tell them, you think I cannot do this, but this is my track record and it is proven. That is number one. Number two, I've faced sexual harassment from men because most of my clients are actually men. And whenever I go and sit with them down, they'll say, let us meet in a hotel. We need to go over your work. We need to go over the proposal you're going to, present to us. Can we meet in a hotel? And then we discuss. So when we sit down and start discussing, you'll see they have other interests. The only thing I do, I tell them, you have to separate work and all that thing you want to, you're showing me right now. And I am not here for that. I'm here for work. If it is not work, then I'm sorry, I cannot compromise. I leave them. I have left so many clients in the hotels and in, everywhere else I go to meet with them. I leave them. I tell them I'm not here for, all that work you want. I'm here for my work. And I have to prove myself that this is work. Because if the minute you start meddling with them, it's a small world. They always tell each other. Because I deal with counties, I deal with so many big leaders. The minute you go sleeping around with them, they'll tell the other person, oh, I got this lady because I slept with her, So I really have, for the 15 years I've been in work, they know me. And at least so many of them right now know me. They know that woman is an iron lady. You cannot dare go bringing your, nonsense to her. Yeah.
Okay. So what does the government do to support these women? Are there any special concessions or,
Oh, yes. Our government is really working hard right now to make sure the woman has a say in so many ways. Number one, like in the government procurement process, there are tenders that have been specifically given to women in business, women and youth. 30% of all procurement, tenders, biddings, and everything, all contracts for the government, they go to women. 30%.
Okay, so it's reserved, is it?
Yes, it is reserved for women. They cannot be given to men. They only go to women and the youth. So whenever at the end of the financial year, when the auditors come to audit every parastatal, all government institutions, they have to see, have you given out these 30% contracts to the women? Have they gone to the youth? So that is one thing that the government has ensured it happens. Then number two, we have grants. The government has come up with grants that are being given to the women and the youth, and we are really working, they're helping, they're supporting women, because right now you will find that so many women have become financially empowered because of those grants and the loans. The loans that they're being given are almost to 0% interest, and you're given a very long time to repay. So when you go to the banks and they don't give you because you're a woman, you just go to the government facilities. They give you loans almost at 0% interest, as long as you produce a certificate that you call ADPO to show that you are a woman and if you're a youth, you're between this age to this age, you're given a certificate. With that certificate, you can get anything that you want as long as it is procured for the women. All right. Then the other thing that the government has done, they have really tried to do this, it's called two-third gender role. They implemented it, it was passed, it was in the parliament, it has now become a rule, a bill, and a law. Like in every organization, whether a political position, whether in institutions and everywhere, there should be women present in the top positions. Like for every three, two-third gender rule. For every three, two should be women, at least. There should be, if it's a quorum of about 100 people, then there should be about 30% should be women in that team. That is what they have done. They have really worked hard. They are pushing us. In fact, if you come right now, we are nearing elections. In Kenya, we have our elections in August. So right now, they are encouraging so many women to go for those elected positions. And so if you don't, as a woman, if you don't perform, if you don't get the votes that are required, then you're nominated.
Right.
We have to have women in the parliament. If you don't get the election, if you don't win the election, they nominate to make sure they have met the quorum. Yes. So at least the government is really supporting. And as a businesswoman, I have really been helped in terms of grants, in terms of the loans that we take to build our businesses. And then they help you. We have programs for women, because at least now we have very many women in the parliament. So they are supporting us. They go there, they say, no, our women need to have relaxed rules in terms of bidding. So when you go in a board, sometimes they'll favor you because you're a woman, especially if there are so many men present bidding for that specific job, for that specific business, then you at least you're given that favor.
Right. So a lot of initiatives from the government. That's really very, very heartening to hear.
Yeah.
So how
and we
does
have so many NGOs right now. There are so many NGOs that are helping the women. So many. We have, like now, I'll tell you for free, there are NGOs that have come to help the women establish projects in terms of value addition for agriculture, because women, some of the women in career, apart from being in these top positions like what I do, there are so many women who are in agriculture. And they're doing dairy farming, they're doing crop production, So NGOs have stepped in to do value addition. They have very many factories, and you'll see the women are the heads, they're the owners of those factories. Like, for example, making of yogurt, they just go, they have their own cows, they milk, then they take, besides selling the milk, they make yogurts, they have hides and skin factories, yeah. Then we have projects like table banking right now, where they bring the monies together and then they establish an estate. They're into estate, real estates. Yeah, I mean, right now, if you come to Kenya and you go on the roads of Kenya, the big machines, big cars are being driven by women.
Wow.
Yes, so many of them. I mean, the women have really tried. The wall that was established before, like women cannot cross this wall, I can dare say the women in Kenya have broken that wall.
Oh,
yes.
That sounds really great. So you mean even like trucks and those kind of vehicles, is it? Larger vehicles or? Okay.
Yes. The women are, the jobs that we were told before that women cannot do, right now, come in Kenya and you'll be surprised. It is the women that are driving big trucks, for making the roads, this construction of the road. You'll find women driving them. Initially, we never thought that a woman can do such,
Sure.
But I think we are daring. That's
amazing,
the key word.
Amazing. That's quite an eye-opener for us here.
Yeah.
So how do women in Kenya go about balancing their work and family, given that you said, with this mindset that women have to be in the kitchen?
Yeah, wow. That's one thing that is really overworking us. I think besides being financially stable, it is something that has really affected so many women. because you find so many women that are in career, strong women that are in career, most of them, they don't have husbands. You know, they are single parents because they have lost that balance. They don't know how to balance both work and the family. But those that do, those that have families, those that have husbands and kids and people depending on them, they're doing really well. How do they do that? Like me, I'm married. I have 2 kids. I have 2 sons. My firstborn is 9 years, going to 10. The secondborn is 3 years, going to 4. So now we make sure at least, let me give you my schedule, my time, like a normal day for me. I leave in the morning at around 6 to go to work. And then during the day, I have to keep on checking my kids. I have a house help to help me because I cannot handle both housework and my work, my business. So I have to make sure I have a house help who is helping me in that. But I have to keep on checking on them. Then I have to leave work early and come early at home, at least be at home by 6 in the evening. So by that time, my sons are out of school. I'll make sure I see that they have eaten. I'll make sure I've seen that they have done their homework. I check their homework and I put them to bed. That's a normal day for me. But there are some times that I make trips. My work involves a lot of traveling. So I make sure I sit down with my kids before I travel. I tell them, you know what, mommy has to go to work. And I'll be out for like maybe 5 days, but by the time I'm coming back, I'll have something for you, you see. So, and I have a very supportive husband, very supportive husband. He supports me a lot. When I'm out there, probably I have traveled for business work, he'll be here taking care of the family. But if you don't get a supportive husband, where what we are doing, that is how so many women have ended up being single, because their husbands are trying to, compete with their women. They want to make you sit down in their house. You cannot go, you cannot be late at work, you cannot go for these business trips. I mean, at the end of the day, you bring money, I bring money on the table, But that is how we have managed to balance. And once in a while, we go for holidays with my family. I just switch off my phones. I just make sure that this is their dedicated time. It is me and them. That is what we do. Yeah. But if you miss out on that, you're lost.
So it's a very, very fine balance. And
you have to make sure you balance it. Otherwise, if you put your mind too much in work, you're going to lose your family. You will lose them at some point. Yeah. And again, if you put too much of your worries in your family, I mean, you want to have the family, then you'll not be able to be successful in the business world. Yeah. So you have to really try to balance both of them.
Knowing the optimum amount of effort and just keep that in there. Yeah. Yes. I mean, it's really like walking on a tightrope all the time, I presume, right?
Yes, yes. You have to be careful not to lose either, because you need both of them.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. So how do the women actually contribute to the economy in general? I'm sure government sees something very positive in this in very productive team coming along. So
now, with all that I have said, you can definitely know now that the women in Kenya are very strong. We have, like I said, we have many elected women in the parliament. We have many nominated women in the parliament. And I don't know if you know that Kenya is devolved. We have the national government, we have the county government. The national government is the whole umbrella. Now, for the services to get down to the common mwananchi, as we call them, the common citizen on the ground, the country was devolved into 47 counties, right? And all these counties have leaders in them. Like the members of parliament, we have members of county assemblies. They are called county assemblies. And these county assemblies, they're also honorable members. They are elected women, they are nominated women in these positions. And that is how development has been able to come down to the grassroots in Kenya. And again, I think that is how the women have found a voice, because the women are represented in the national government, women are represented in the county government, which is now basically almost at home, you know.
Yeah.
So now, having been empowered to that much, and the grants that we receive and all that, women are able to multiply every shilling they're given. I think it's a research that is still being done, and I think it is still the same even in your country. There's that saying that if you give a woman to say, let's say like $100, they are able to use it better than if you give that man the $100. Is that the same thing?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I remember my mom tightly managing budgets at home, even though she had no formal training. So I guess it just comes naturally to us.
Yes, yeah, it's the same thing. So the monies that we've been able to get as business women in Kenya, we've been able to use it, invest it wisely, you know, and out of that, we have grown our portfolios to hundreds of millions of dollars. And that is how I have told you we've managed to have, if you go on the roads of Kenya, you will find so many of these big machines, big cars are being driven by women, because we know how to use the money. Men waste it. Yeah, I mean, the minute that a man gets money, they think of only three things. They think of a car, they think of alcohol, they think of women. A big car, a woman somewhere, extra woman, and, you know, alcohol. But women, if they get that money, they invest it. We use it so wisely. And we've been able to buy shares in the country. We've been able to educate our children in a very big way, because that contributes, I think, a lot in the growth of the economy of the country. When more kids are educated, then we get more graduates, and they contribute to the growth of the economy. So by that, and we have done so many investments. In fact, when you go right now to most of the real estates, they are headed and they are owned by women.
Wow.
You should visit Kenya, actually. You should visit. Once you visit, I'll show you, I'll take you around and I'll show you. In fact, right now, the men are saying that the girl child in Kenya has been too much empowered. They're almost...
Then that's a nice problem to have.
It's a very good problem. Because all the NGOs that were coming from, you know, internationally, they used to say girl child empowerment, child empowerment. So now the girl child in Kenya has been too much empowered. The boys, I mean, the men are feeling intimidated now. They're like, no, we need NGOs to come in and give empowerment to the boy child now.
Amazing.
Yeah. So we are really working hard, and the government, we really thank our government of Kenya. They have really supported us as women, and we are making the milestones because of them.
So great, Roselyn. I mean, it's been really fun talking to you and knowing about the culture for women in Kenya.
Yes.
Any last words, Rajpreet? So Rajpreet is the founder of Say Cheese, which is a personal growth platform for women in India. And yeah, so we have a community of around 10,000 women in our platform.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What I would tell them, as a woman right now, you have everything that it takes to be successful.
Right.
We are no longer hiding behind men. You know, traditionally, we used to wait for men to bring us food in the house. You have to just stay there. But along the line, we have realized we also have a brain, we have two hands, we have 2 feet. You can actually go out there and make money for yourself. So don't give up. Just try whatever it is you can do, whatever small little thing that you can do, because we have seen women in Kenya grow from collecting $10 each. They bring the money together and then they do something, a project together. We have so many community projects for women. So that's what I could tell them. I could tell you all, be supportive of one another and help each other, you know. And the minute you help each other climb up the ladder, you're going to go far. Yes.
Excellent last words.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah. thank you for coming on our platform. Rajpreet?
Yeah. Thanks, Saras. Thanks, Roselyn. And while I'm not available on a video call right now, but I really wanted to thank you, Roselyn, for such a lovely and inspirational talk. And
Thank you.
we also, the tagline of Sechi's is fly far, fly together. So we completely, believe that you have to do it together. And today you reminded me of a very famous poet who had mentioned that where the head is held high and the mind is without fear. So, it's your journey and whatever you shared was very, very inspirational. And we really look forward to having you once again on our platform.
Thank you. Thank you.
Possibly on our app next time. So thank you so much for taking out the time, and really kudos to the great work that you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Let's be in touch.
Thank you.